Hey, good evening. My name is Ron. I'm the host of this show, and this is a channel dedicated to help you to learn to meditate. A good start is to read something thought-provoking, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Coming to you from Exodus chapter 3. And this is God talking to Moses. Then the Lord told him, I have certainly seen the oppression of my people in Egypt. I have heard their cries of distress because of their harsh slave drivers. Yes, I am aware of their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the power of the Egyptians and lead them out of Egypt into their own fertile and spacious land. It is a land flowing with milk and honey, the land where the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, Jebusites now live. Look, the cry of the people of Israel has reached me, and I have seen how harshly the Egyptians abuse them. Now, go, for I am sending you to Pharaoh. You must lead my people, Israel, out of Egypt. And we're going to skip up to chapter 4. But Moses pleaded with the Lord. Oh Lord, I am not very good with words. I never have been, and I'm not now. Even though you have spoken to me, I get tongue-tied and my words get tangled. Yeah, I know that feeling. Then the Lord asked Moses, who makes a person's mouth? Who decides whether people speak or do not speak? Hear or do not hear? See or do not see? Is it not I, the Lord? Now, go, I will be with you as you speak, and I will instruct you in what to say. Sounds pretty simple and agreeable. But Moses again pleaded, Lord, please send someone else. Then the Lord became angry with Moses. All right, he said. What about your brother Aaron, the Levite? I know he speaks well. And look, he is on his way to meet you now. He will be delighted to see you. Talk to him and put the words in his mouth, and I will be with both of you as you speak, and I will instruct you both in what to do. God put up a pretty convincing argument as to why Moses should go. And he still argued. Let's get a little context from our daily bread. Never say can't. Jen was born without legs and abandoned at the hospital. Yet she says being put up for adoption was a blessing. I am here because of the people who poured into me. Her adoptive family helped her to see she was born like this for a reason. They raised her to never say can't and encouraged her in all her pursuits, including becoming an accomplished acrobat and aerialist. She meets challenges with an attitude of, how can I tackle this? And motivates others to do the same. The Bible tells stories of many people God used who seemed incapable or unsuited for their calling. But God used them anyway. Moses is a classic example. When God called him to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, he balked. I am slow of speech and tongue. God replied, who gave human beings their mouths? Who makes them deaf or mute? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go. I will help you speak and will teach you what to say. When Moses still protested, God provided Aaron to speak for him and assured him he would help them. Like Jen and like Moses, all of us are here for a reason, and God graciously helps us along the way. He supplies people to help us and provide what we need to live for Him. God, I'm so glad you didn't leave me here on this earth to do it all on my own. Thank you for your love and guidance and the people you've placed in my life. Amen. Amen. Okay. And for the commentary, I have an interesting little story. I've entitled today's commentary Fire Chief. Back some 30 years ago, I was on our local fire department. I'm talking about myself here right now. It is a co-op, and it is comprised of two RMs. If you paid a membership fee and had a fire, you got no bill. If you were not a member and you had a fire, you got a bill. I don't understand why everybody didn't become members. One RM was made up of cabin owners, and the other RM was made up of farmers and ranchers. Two polar opposites, let me tell you. Now, on this fire department back in the day, there were three major issues. One, fire chief was trying to break up the co-op and turn it into a private enterprise. Now, in this story, just keep in mind, he was a very good friend of mine and still is. Item number two, we had budget issues, mostly with collecting bills that some people couldn't pay. Firefighting is very expensive. And number three, cooperation issues between the fire crews from the two RMs, the farmers and the cabin owners. Okay, so issue number one. How did I work on that? After explaining to the board what the fire chief was trying to do to the co-op department, and after much deliberation, they asked me to be fire chief. Okay, and I accepted. So we rectified issue number one. No more breaking up of the co-op. Issue number two. After a lot of head bashing with the boards of the RMs and the co-op, I got them to put a fire levy on all taxpayers to alleviate the budget issues, while the co-op still maintained ownership of the department. That gave us an influx of money that led to some serious growth in the fire department. And lastly, issue number three, crew cooperation. We had many differences of opinions on how to do things and what resources should be where. And yeah, it was always a clash between these two RMs. and all that was separating us was one chunk of highway. Anyway, with the crew cooperation, I started a sports night once a week to try to build camaraderie. I thought that's a good idea. The very first night was volleyball, and I told them to pair up or make up two teams. And instantly they went one RM on one side and one RM on the other side of the net. And I realized this this isn't going to work. Then I had a thought. Why don't we try under 35 on this side of the net and over 35 on this side of the net? That was the ticket to building team spirit. That's a story all on its own. Okay, so after hearing this little story of the fire department's great success under my leadership, you might be thinking, man, this guy walks on water. The truth is, I'm just not that smart. God was leading all the way. There is no doubt in my mind about that. So, where can God lead you today? There's something to meditate on. Word for the day: extrapolate. God willing, we'll see you tomorrow.